All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If we could, everyone, please find your seats. We will be beginning here momentarily. We've got a beautiful program, a lot of things to get to, so we'll start in 5 minutes. It's your 5-minute warning. 5 minutes. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and it's time to get our program started. Welcome to our wonderful event. The hardest thing of today will be not to eat those donuts quite yet. They're calling your name. I've strategically put the mum between me and the donuts so I couldn't get to them. That's all I can say. This is RAMP's 31st annual Changing Attitudes, Breaking Barriers Luncheon. My name is Steve Summers, and some of you may recognize me from 95.3 The Bull. This week in the Stay Line, one of our shows that we do, maybe NIU football broadcast, 100.5 Rockford's Greatest Hits. Basically, I'll do anything. I really do it all. So I'm glad to be back for my 4th year here as the MC for an organization that I can truly say changes lives. I truly believe in RAMP's mission to build an inclusive community that engages individuals with disabilities to reach their fullest potential. I would encourage you to take a look through the program so you can see the wide range of services and programs that RAMP's offering to our community each and every day. So make sure you check those out. Also, feel free to refer to the agenda located on your tables for the schedule of today's events. There's a lot of things going on. And did you see the silent auction table? So many great trips. We are going to Antigua and Rockefeller Center and all kinds of things. So make sure you are placing your bids there today. As you were, today is a fundraising opportunity for RAMP. Some fun ways that you can donate, of course. Check out the silent auction table. Place your winning bids. You got to have the winning bid to take it home, by the way. Don't just walk out with it. You can continue with your bidding on your phones until we are done eating our meals. I'll let you know about 5 minutes left at about 12:20. And again, 1 minute. We'll actually close the silent auction at 12:25. And if you happen to get outbid, don't take to fighting right away. Grab a centerpiece on your table. That is available for you to take home, a minimum donation of $10 each. These can be purchased either by cash or check, which can be left in the envelopes on the table. That's what those are for, or through the auction website. There's a coffee station, if you noticed, way in the corner on the side there. That is open throughout the entire time, so feel free to grab your coffee before you start eating the donut. That's all I can say. It's now my pleasure to introduce you to Ellen Zeiss, RAMP Board President, who would like to recognize a community of individuals and organizations that are the heart and soul of RAMP. Please welcome Ellen Zeiss.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out to the luncheon today. I'm so fortunate to serve as the RAMP president, and it gives me this great privilege to introduce some of our great team today. I want to introduce our finance committee member, Ben Dietig from RSM. Ben, are you here? There, waving his hand. Thank you, Ben. And our RAMP board members present today, Craig Fetty, who is our past treasurer from Compass Financial. Craig. Jessica Colts, our past president from Rasmussen College. I was very fortunate to follow her. Jessica planned to be here today and got a sick child, but I do want to recognize Jessica because she was such a force behind the scenes when we could not meet for these luncheons. I want to recommend Nikki Lynch from the Rockford Park District, who's on our board. Nikki? Nikki. Got to raise your hand high, Nikki. And then Joe Marshall, retired from Landstar, who's been past president before. Thank you, Joe. Kim Schweitzer, our treasurer, and retired from RAMP. She was to be here today. And Kim, is Kim here? Oh, because I had a message you were flying to Arizona for the birth of your grandchild. Hi, Kim. She is not flying to Arizona. She is right there. LaFakiria Vaughn with the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office. Thank you, LaFakiria. And then I'm so fortunate too, I was brought on board RAMP by Joe Marshall, who was the president at the time, and has served for so many years at RAMP, for 25 years on our board, Joe. And we want to recognize you today. If you could join me, we have an award to thank you for your 25-year service. which is not here. Amy, emergency, alert, security. Do you have those available? Joe is right here. Oh, that's okay. Joe, I want to give you this 25th anniversary water bottle. We will make sure that award is brought to you. Did you want to say anything?
No, I would just thank you, and it's been my honor to work with the ramp people and staff for so many years. It's my true love. I believe in ramp very much. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay. I'm going to leave my award with you.
And then this is a surprise to this person, but our CEO of RAMP, Jackie Sundquist, who's who's been now with 25 years at RAMP and has led us through some very transitional times through the pandemic. Jackie, I know that she's not expecting this. Where is Jackie? There is Jackie. Thank you. Jackie, can you say something, please?
Yes. Well, I have a lot to say later, but I guess in the short, this 25 years has been a fun ride. I really thought I was going to work for RAMP for like 2 or 3 years and move on, and they kept putting up with me and allowing me to grow and flourish, and I'm still here and glad to be here, so thank you.
Jackie, this is the 25-year water to put in your glass. Thank you very much. This is Joe's? Oh, Joe. Look, I'm trained to act in situations like this. Thank you very much. Whew, okay. And then I want to recognize the team that really makes this happen. We're so fortunate to work with all of RAMP staff who are so dedicated and passionate for their work. If they could please stand or raise their hand a moment, we'd really like to acknowledge them in the room. Thank you for the RAMP team. And then we want to recognize our elected officials present today. We have Rockford Park District Commissioner Tyler Smith. And the Mayor of Rockford, Tom McNamara. And I'd like to welcome the Mayor to speak with us today. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Al. Well, I don't have any water bottles to give out today, but I do want to say a sincere thank you. You think about individuals giving up their time and talent. Joe, thank you. 25 years is really remarkable, so thank you. And Jackie, 25 years of service to an amazing organization. Really appreciate all the wonderful work that you have done over your career. Sincere thank you to Alan as the board chair, as well as the entire board and the entire staff of RAMP. The work that you do really is making our community a better place. It's an honor for me to be here with all of you to help celebrate this amazing organization that has made such a tremendous impact on our entire community. 1 in 4 people have a disability, and RAMP works to build an inclusive space that encourages these individuals to reach their full potential. This work is not easy, but it is truly making a difference in these individuals' lives, their families' lives, and the entire city of Rockford. RAMP really serves our community as a moral compass when it comes to inclusivity and accessibility, and we are better off because of RAMP. At the city of Rockford, we're learning from RAMP. We're continuing our efforts to be inclusive and accessible while eliminating barriers facing the disability community. We voluntarily participate in the Human Rights Campaign's annual Municipal Equality Index. They call it the MEI Index. And this MEI Index examines the laws, the policies, and the services that municipalities across the country provide. And they rate every single one of these municipalities. And back in 2017, when I was fortunate to be elected mayor of the city of Rockford, we had a score of 59. 59. As someone who spent 11 years at Sylvan Learning Center, 59 I do know is a failing grade. Thank you, at least 2 or 3 people laughed. I will take pity laughter throughout this entire thing. So obviously that's a failing grade, but the work that we've done is really important. We've done a lot of hard work, a lot of purposeful work, and now that score for the city of Rockford is a 92 out of 100. So to improve our rating, as I mentioned, it's purposeful hard work. So some of the things that we've done, we've adopted a non-discrimination ordinance for all of the City of Rockford contractors. We've included transgender inclusive healthcare benefits for our employees. We've proclaimed the month of June, Pride Month. We've appointed individuals and city staff individuals to be liaisons for the City of Rockford as an organization, but also for the police department to the LGBTQIA+ community. Every single one of our City of Rockford employees has also been participating in DEIB training. And they're not just participating in the training, we're actually doing surveys of every one of our employees, and we are going to have metrics so that we can track our outcomes to make sure that we are an inclusive employer. We've also established a Community Relations Commission, and this commission is an important commission for the entire city of Rockford because it addresses issues of equality, equity, and discrimination. And since the beginning of this commission, we have been fortunate to have a member of the RAMP staff serve on this important commission. You can also see RAMP's impact is really far-reaching. It reaches far beyond the walls of their organization, and it gets out into our community. They're helping our city address critical issues that have been facing us. One of these critical issues that has been plaguing our community for decades is domestic violence. Domestic violence makes up 40% of all of our city's violent crime, and RAMP, again, is helping us. Look no further than the grant that RAMP just recently won from the Office of Violence Against Women. Through this grant, RAMP is leading the effort to strengthen our community's collaborative relationships and their capacity to provide accessible, safe, and effective services to individuals with disabilities and deaf individuals who are survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking. And also, when we opened the state of Illinois' first ever Family Peace Center here in Rockford, we called RAMP first. And we had representatives from RAMP come through this center and offer suggestions so that we could make sure that the Family Peace Center was accessible to all. These are just a few of the ways that RAMP is positively impacting our community. And I have to say, I am incredibly proud of the work that our community is doing to become a better place. But I really have to say, RAMP is really leading the way. So a sincere thank you again to the tremendous board of directors, to the staff, and to all the participants who make up RAMP and make it a special place for our community. Thank you.
And to further illustrate that RAMP is all-inclusive, we have given each of you 25-year water on your table. So please enjoy that as well. Lunch will be served here right now, actually, and we'll let you know when the auction tables will close at about 12:25. So enjoy lunch. We'll be back with more. Bon appetit. All right, everyone, I know you're enjoying your lunch. Continue. I just wanted to give you a heads up that you have a few more minutes remaining for the silent auction table. Bidding will be closing momentarily at 12:25, so you have a few more minutes. Check your bids, check them twice. Don't miss out. All right, again, a reminder to check your bids. We are winding down rapidly to 12:25. We'll give you the countdown here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the auction will be closing. We'll be beginning the award portion of our program in just about 5 minutes. So now would be a great time to check on your bids and close out your item by paying via phone, or maybe even getting some coffee to go along with those incredible Edwards Apple Orchard donuts that you have been resisting until after dinner. Then we'll start our program. If you have any questions, ramp staff will be available to assist you now and even after the event. If you're unable to close out on your phone, you can do so after the event at the wooden bar where the ramp staff will assist you. It seems appropriate that some of the ramp staff members are at the wooden bar. Pointing out that it is not open at this time, though. That's a good thing. All right, so check your bids. We'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start our other portion of the program. However, I do have to warn you, Mark at our table, table number 2, threatened to throw these donuts at people who weren't going to eat them. No donut fights, Mark. You must eat the donuts, please. And there is coffee available for you on the side. Make sure you get a coffee as well. A big thank you to the crew here at the Tabala and Green Fire for providing such a beautiful space and a wonderful meal for us today. Thank you so much. And those incredible fall treats, the donuts from Edwards Orchard in Poplar Grove. I'd like now to introduce you to Amy Morris, Chief Operating Officer at RAMP, to acknowledge RAMP's Director Circle, today's major sponsors, and announce this year's award recipients. Amy?
Thank you, Steve. Well, we're so thankful to have all of you here today. I have the honor to recognize our dedicated donors for their lifetime cumulative support of RAMP, and the Director's Circle recognizes donors once they've hit the $2,500 mark, and as they continue to contribute to RAMP, they move up the levels. And so today you'll notice that some people around the room have an extra ribbon that says Director's Circle on it, and those that have moved up a level this year have a star in the program next to their name. And so I'd like to ask everybody that has a Director's Circle ribbon or anybody that we've missed that's in the Director's Circle to please stand or raise your hand if you can. I'd also like to take a minute to thank today's event sponsors. We're so appreciative of everybody's support. I know that many of you not only support today's event, but also support the events that we do throughout the year, or potentially through your foundations and through your individual gifts to help our programs and services that RAMP provides. Today's premier supporter is the Blazer Foundation. Our platinum supporters are Mercy Health and Blue Cross Blue Shield. Gold supporters are ComEd and ITAC. Our silver supporters are Kunis, RSM, Estwing, Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, number 23, Nicor Gas, Savant, and Edwards Apple Orchard. Our bronze support, yeah, extra woohoo for the donuts, right? Our bronze supporters are Center for Sight and Hearing, Morrissey Family Business, First Benefits Group, Evolution Marketing, Rhyme, Fitzgerald Funeral Home, J.L. Clark, U.S. Bank, Gallino Trucking, Eckberg Insurance Company, Interstate Battery, Compass Financial of Raymond James, Woodward, and First Staffing. And our friends of RAMP level are CES Incorporated, Belvedere Lodge, number 60A, F, and AM Radio, and Tyson and Billy Architects. And as we mentioned, there's some other people who have given gifts of in-kind today, including WREX, Minuteman Press, Steve Summers of 95.3 The Bull, and Midwest Family Broadcasting. Thank you all so much again for your generous support. So moving on to our awards. Each year, RAMP recognizes individuals and community partners who go above and beyond to help support RAMP's mission. The process of selecting who to honor is always a very difficult one. We always ask our staff, some members from the community, to nominate people, individuals, community organizations from the community who they feel might be worthy of these awards. And we get a lot of nominations. So we truly appreciate these three that will be recognized today as the Partner of the Year, the Advocate of the Year, and the Youth Leader of the Year. And to present the first award, I'll welcome Pam Clark-Reidenbach to the stage from NICNY, but here also today representing the Shellstrom Family Foundation.
Good afternoon. And congratulations to RAMP for a successful event. For years of critical service to the community, you are an extraordinary advocate for people with disabilities and leader in making individuals know they belong in our community. As Amy said, my name is Pam Clark-Reidenbach, and I'm the Executive Director of the Northern Illinois Center for Nonprofit Excellence, more fondly known as NICNY. I'm also the lead trustee of the Shellstrom Family Foundation and was honored to stand up at this event last year and accept the Partner of the Year award, along with our two other trustees, Dan Ross and Julie Bosma, to recognize the philanthropic support and legacy of Janet Shellstrom, a woman who loved the community and humbly gave to many youth, human services, and arts organizations. Today, I have the honor to present the Partner of the Year award to J.L. Clark, the company that Janet's father partially owned and where she was employed for 39 years. J.L. Clark remains committed to supporting the communities in which their companies are located through the J.L. Clark Legacy Foundation. J.L. Clark has been supporting RAMP for over 30 years, totaling nearly $90,000. The support dates back to the very first Rockford Wheel-a-thon events in the early 90s. Additionally, J.L. Clark supported the first capital campaign RAMP conducted in 1996 to purchase their building located at 202 Market Street in Rockford. They have attended many annual luncheon events and most recently supported the second capital campaign to completely renovate RAMP's building 25 years later. It warms my heart to see the legacy of the Shellstrom family and J.L. Clark continued. Things do go full circle. I am honored to present the Partner of the Year award to J.L. Clark. Please help me welcome to the stage Mike Dievliger, who is here to accept the award.
And we have the award. And we have the award. Not just water. You do?
Thank you, Pam. We believe that the Clark family would be very honored and humbled to know that the foundation they created so many years ago is still actively serving the great community that we live and work in today. However, we think that if any of them were here today, they would say, and I think everybody here would agree, whether you're a foundation, corporate, or individual partner of RAMP, we do the easy work. We write checks. The real work is done by all those people who were standing earlier that do the work for RAMP. Thank you.
We had the awards this time. Did you see that? It wasn't the fanciest display in our blue ITAC bag, but I want to recognize Jody for a minute because I know I called her out before, and she did have the bag up here, and she worked so hard for today's event, so thanks for all that you do, Jody, Justine, and welcome to our team, Hannah and Salisa. Our next award presenter is going to present the Advocate of the Year award, and that is going to be Sean Monahan. I had to remember for a second, then I was like, wait, who is it? Sean Monahan from Winnebago Schools. Sorry, I had a little brain freezer for a minute.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Sean Monahan, as Amy mentioned, and I'm the principal at Jean McNair Elementary School in the Winnebago School District. Our school was the recipient of this Advocate of the Year award last year for our participation and support of RAMP's curriculum programs in our schools. Today I have the pleasure to announce this year's award recipient, the Winnebago County Community Mental Health Board. Every member of this board strongly advocated for the need for mental health services in our community, and according to their website, in the 2020 Winnebago County primary election, there were 43,723 votes cast for the following question. Do you support raising our community sales tax 1/2 cent on a dollar to fund mental health services in our area? The answer was a resounding yes. As an educator and an administrator for a number of years, I can tell you that mental health is a growing problem and the need for awareness and services is real. Thanks to the voters and the Mental Health Board, RAMP has been able to expand their mental health services for both youth and adults in our community. Our schools also benefit from this, as RAMP has now included mental health lessons in their curriculum programs that we offer in all of our schools. I am honored today to present the Advocate of the Year Award to the Winnebago County Community Mental Health Board. I welcome Jason Holcomb to accept this award on behalf of the board and ask that the members of the board that are here today to please stand for recognition.
Thank you. I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of the Winnebago County Community Mental Health Board. I was just in Memphis, Tennessee last week, actually at a conference for economic modeling. Not quite what you would think of as a mental health conference, but I did present there about what we're doing here in Winnebago County as it relates to mental health and the potential economic impacts associated with that. It was kind of intimidating and a little risky maybe to make that type of presentation to a group of economists. But within 2 days after that presentation, they had reached out and asked if we could follow it up with a webinar giving the same presentation to their larger national audience. And I say that because I don't know that we appreciate locally how special and unique and compelling what we have actually is with this half-cent sales tax and the opportunity we have to create an available, accessible, and affordable system of care for those who struggle with mental illness and substance use in Winnebago County. And so on behalf of the Mental Health Board, we want to thank all the champions and advocates who continue to show up and support mental health in our community, including our elected leadership. We thank the organizations like RAMP who take a risk to expand their operations in the middle of a pandemic. And we thank all of the voters of Winnebago County who have continued to show up and support mental health in our community. Thank you.
All right, and next, we would like to welcome Jana Mueller to the stage. Jana is our Fast Track Specialist, and she is going to help us present today's Youth Leadership Award.
Good afternoon. This year's recipient of the Youth Leadership Award goes to Ella Hodges. Ella is a junior at Belvedere North High School, and she and her family started working with RAMP in 2012, with advocates helping at her IEP meetings. She is now participating in her 3rd year in our Fast Track program. Ella is currently writing a book about her life and her disability, and is a big supporter of other disabled folks. She is also in the process of working with her principal at Belvedere North to get an American Sign Language Club started, and she will play a key role in leading the club. Ella wants to go to college to major in communications and minor in ASL, and she wants to be an ASL interpreter when she grows up. Unfortunately, Ella and her family were not able to attend today, but we do have a short video of Ella accepting her award.
Thank you for this award. It means a lot to have a leadership award. I mean, I'm apparently a leader. I've worked with Fast Track and RAMP for majority of my life. Fast Track for 3 years. I have grown to enjoy helping other people and being that leader, especially when it comes to kids with disabilities, because obviously I have one myself, so I kind of understand them a bit more, I guess. And I don't know, it helps me kind of get to know them better too. Yeah, again, just thank you, and it means a lot.
Thank you, and I'd also like to thank Jana. She's her advocate, and Jana and all of our other fast track specialists that work with our youth to help them with their transition goals. And obviously, as you can see, they make a big difference in their lives. So thank you, Jana and team. And I believe you're back up here, Mr. Summers. Oh. Yes. Well, except that my agenda says Steve Summers to introduce Jackie Sundquist. Well, great. Well, then I have the great pleasure to introduce our CEO and Executive Director, and who is celebrating her 25th anniversary, as you all know, Jackie Sundquist.
All right, well, I get the lucky job of telling and bragging about everything amazing that RAMP has accomplished in this past year. We continue to work diligently in order to achieve our mission, grow our services, and reach all of those that we could be of service to. When we look back at our accomplishments over the last year, we are not only proud of the work we have done, but also immensely proud of all the staff, the consumers we served, and the communities who have challenged themselves to move forward during those difficult times. I would like to take a few moments to highlight those accomplishments and so that we can celebrate what is possible when we are all invested in building an inclusive community that encourages individuals with disabilities to reach their full potential. Over the past year, RAMP provided an array of services to 746 new individuals and to over 12,000 new referrals. RAMP services are available to individuals at no charge, and we serve people with all disabilities of any age. So I'm going to start out bragging about our youth programs. Through our youth services, we were able to serve 228 families and students who needed assistance navigating the special education process. This was a 30% increase in people served compared to the year prior. We added a mental health youth advocate to our team who provides advocacy, services, and resources to students and their families impacted by mental health diagnosis. This new position was funded thanks to the Winnebago County Mental Health Board. Our pre-employment program called Fast Track that Ella was just sharing with you that she participated in provided services to over 80 youth this past year. These youth work on self-advocacy skills, independent living skills, and job exploration. Now, the intent of this program is to get them ready for employment someday. It's not necessarily to get them a job. However, we had 14 youth who we worked with happened to get paid jobs in the community. So this was a great success for us. We recognized the impact of this program and created a strategic plan goal in 2021 that we wanted to have a dedicated fast track specialist in all 4 counties that we serve. And we thought maybe we could do this by 2024. I am proud to announce that this past year, we invested new unrestricted funding and hired 2 additional fast track staff who started July 1. We are confident that this will allow RAMP to double the number of youth served last year. RAMP's curriculum services reached 467 students in local elementary, middle, and high schools. Teens in Transition, also known as TNT, is a high school program, and it too had a record-setting year. It was taught to 10 local high schools and reached 160 students with disabilities. These students learn essential skills to prepare for all facets of adult life. What's really cool about this program is that we get to bring in community partners such as yourself, local employers to be guest speakers in the classroom. They help us with mock interviews and/or they mentor the students we serve. I know that here in the audience today, because I've seen some of you join us, are a TNT community partner. If maybe you could just stand or raise your hand and wave around a little bit so that we can thank you for the dedication to our youth. Thank you. Okay, so in fall of 2021, we were ecstatic to add a third project search site here in Rockford through a partnership with the Rockford Public Schools, Illinois Department of Rehab Services, and Embassy Suites. For those of you that are not familiar, Project Search is a unique business-led, one-year school-to-work program that takes place entirely at the worksite. Selected students work 3 internships over the course of the school year in combination with classroom instruction, goal setting, career exploration, and most of all, hands-on work training at the job site. Not only do we now have the capacity to serve more youth in this program, but it too had a record-setting year. I feel like that's my new logo or slogan. So this past students that graduated and those that were still looking for jobs from the year before, we had 26 interns get paid jobs this past year. Now I'd like to have you shift to one of the screens to watch a short video of Darvis. Darvis is one of the interns who graduated from Embassy Suites' program this past year, and he would like to share his experience working in Project Search.
Hello, my name is Darvis Northup. I was an intern in Project Search at Embassy Suites. I am now employed as a maintenance facilities technician. Some of the things that I do is take out the trash, outside maintenance, fix things outside and in guest rooms around the hotel. I am also now a mentor to the new Project Search interns. I love my job. Thank you for everyone.
And then as you see on the screen, one last plug about Project Search is we are having a chamber ribbon cutting next week on October 25th at 11 a.m. at Embassy Suites Rockford. If you are able to attend, you'll have the opportunity to meet the staff, meet all the partners involved, and of course, meet the interns who make it happen. Okay, so now we're gonna shift gears to adult services. First up is over 22 years ago, RAMP has been transitioning people out of nursing homes and back into the community. Through the community reintegration program, our staff transitioned 12 people back into their homes in the last year. I'm gonna have you look at the screen again and introduce you to Adam. Adam is now 41 years old, but had previously lived in hospitals, rehab facilities, and a nursing home since 2008 after a severe accident. RAMP helped him find supports in the community and a wheelchair-accessible apartment that he could also afford. We share Adam's story because everyone, with the exception of Adam and his family, felt that it would be in his best interest to stay in that nursing home. And I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone 30, 40, 50, maybe even 60 should belong in a place like that. So with Adam's hard work, which was a lot of work to prove that he could live independently, and with the tenacity of our staff to prove everyone that he could be successful, Adam has been living in his own apartment since May. Through RAMP's employment programs, we this past year completed intakes with 54 new job seekers. And as of the end of our fiscal year, June 30th, 34 of them were employed. We started this program up 10 years ago, and we have since helped 479 people obtain jobs. And we hope to surpass the 500 mark here in the next few months. On the transportation forefront, we obtained a new contract with the City of DeKalb to provide bus training services similar to those that we've been providing to RMTD, Rockford area residents, for many years. We have the ability to teach consumers to utilize the public transit systems in their communities so they can independently get to work, go to the doctor, play, shop. And then in May, we were excited to learn that the Winnebago County Community Mental Health Board increased our contract so that we could add our first ever mental health independent living advocate to the Winnebago team. This position will help us meet the need in our community for those adults impacted by mental illness. We are also pleased to announce that over the last year, we enhanced our community training offerings to now include ableism awareness, workplace inclusion, disability awareness for the judicial system, and more. Now I would like to talk a little bit about, or mention, that one of our very own staff members received a couple of awards this past year. Eric Brown, RAMP Systems Advocacy Coordinator, was honored with the following. First, he received the Western Illinois University's Distinguished Service Award. Then the Rockford Chamber selected him as one of the area's 40 under 40 you should know. Most notably, Nickel, the National Center for Independent Living, awarded Eric with the Region 5 Advocacy Award in DC at their annual conference this past July. Congratulations, Eric. I don't know where you're sitting, but we are very lucky to have you. Last but not least, December 8th marks the 25th anniversary of the Stevenson County office in Freeport. The success of this office is very near and dear to my heart, as I was hired as the agency's first employee in Freeport. I remember starting on December 1st, and my first task, besides onboarding and orientation, was I needed to find an office space. We didn't have anything yet. So a week later, and with the help of some of my Rockford coworkers, I moved into a 2-room space in the heart of Freeport. RAMP quickly grew out of that space many times, and in 2006, we were fortunate enough to purchase our own building located at 2155 West Galena Avenue. And to celebrate 25 years and to raise funds for some much-needed repairs and updates at the office, we have a capital campaign to raise $25,000. If you feel obliged, you can actually take your phone and scan the code on one of these screens, or in your program is a QR code as well. And if you could help support our efforts, that would be much appreciated. So to wrap up my updates, I am extremely proud of the staff who have stuck through the tough times in human services over the last several years, and of the new staff who have joined our growing team. I listen to others vent about their struggles to recruit and retain, and we are fortunate, to say the least. I love bragging about where I work, who I get to work with, and the fact that we are changing lives one person at a time. Next, I have the privilege of introducing our guest speaker today, Joey Vitito. To start Joey's presentation off, we're going to direct your attention to the screen for a short video introduction titled Engineering Her Future. This video was created by Pablo Corona, video producer and director of OurCityOurStory.com.
I've been hard of hearing since I was born. The one thing my parents always pointed out was that we're not gonna baby you. You are just like everybody else. Living in the same world, doing the same thing. You may have to do more work in order to get what you want. My parents have been a big factor of being able to motivate me in the sense that I don't have to be limited of what people tell me that I am limited to. Me being disabled in people's eyes, I can learn how to overcome those obstacles and be better than what people expect me to be. In the backyard. Yeah, I guess that is me now. I thought we were playing the whole video, but my bad. Well, hi everyone. My name is Joey Vitito. I will say this is the first time I'm speaking to this big of a crowd, so bear with me. My name is no longer Joey Vitito. It is now Joey Schrader. I recently got married on September 24th with my wonderful husband that I've been with for 4 years. I have my wedding photos here, a couple of them. Most of you probably think that we met in college. Actually, our love story started at Home Depot on Perryville. But that's a story for another time. I currently still work as a manufacturer engineer at Collin Aerospace in the Global Service Repair Department. I work with emergency power systems that go on commercial airplanes and military airplanes. Not only that I work there, I also have a life outside of my job. I am an artist, a dog mom of 3. I am a robotics coach for a first Lego Little League. Love that team. I also
also hunt with my husband, and I help assist in the pageant for the Winnebago County Fairgrounds. Most of you probably think, why is she here? Who is she? So forth. Well, I had two ladies in particular that reached out to me almost a year ago, Amy and Justine, after they saw the video of Our City, Our Story had released. At first, I didn't know much about RAMP, so I had to do my own research. And what RAMP stands for, and I hear this question a lot, especially from my coworkers over the last few days, they were wondering what RAMP stands for, and I didn't even know. So I learned that RAMP stands for Regional Access and Mobilization Project. And you heard a lot about RAMP does, what the great things they're doing in our community. And what RAMP does, and something that they hold true to themselves, is that they hold no limits in ways that they encourage individuals with disabilities to reach to their full potential. With that, I'll tell you a little bit of my story today. So, as any other mother would, a mother would know when there's something wrong with their child, naturally. My mother had recognized that there was something that wasn't right with me just because I was not responding to her, but I was responding to my dad. So, the first thing she does is starts taking me to doctor visits. Doctor visits after doctor visits. Each doctor is saying, oh, she's not cooperating, she's a toddler. Until one doctor in particular had told her to get my hearing tested, because at the time that I was born, hearing testing was not required for the babies. So, come to find out, at 4 years old, I was born with a bilateral moderate to severe hearing loss. So when my hearing was first discovered, the first thing my parents and my whole family did was take basic sign language class to help me communicate it when needed most, already being a mentor and advocate in my life. And then, of course, I get to hear my first sounds at 4 years old, and those first sounds was birds chirping. Recently, I received a new pair of hearing aids after 8 years, and you can imagine technology improves insane. I realized my dishwasher makes noises, how loud central air could be, and I learned my new pet peeve as well, and that's the sound of people chewing. However, my parents never raised me to be different due to my disability, and I say disability with quotes, and I'll explain why. If you look at the proper definition of disabled, I got the definitions coming up here. If you look at the proper definition, it means to be limited on functioning abilities. Limited. Disabled is kind of a word that is used poorly in our society, and sometimes is connected to depression. But honestly, we should change that perspective. So however, if I read the definition in a different perspective, looking at the word limited, which limitation means boundaries and obstacles, how you must overcome them and adapt. So really, I am limited to do certain things in life, but I'm not limited to the things I want in life. I'm going to say that again. I am limited to do certain things in life, but I am not limited to the things I want in life. Now, if I remove the part that says dis from disabled, I get the word abled. When you look at the definition on the slide, it says the ability to have complete range of physical and mental abilities. Physical and mental ability. This applies to everybody. We must learn who we are. We must learn who we are to know what we are able to do. We must learn on what we are able to do in order to adapt and overcome obstacles. We are able to do whatever we want if we just put our mental and physical abilities forward. With that, you can help others with those abilities you have. And lastly, my new favorite word coming up here is differently abled. Now, if you look at that definition, it says lack of normal functioning ability. Now, I may lack in hearing, but I'm still able to advocate for others and able to guide others just as all the mentors and advocates in my life as well. It's something I usually say to myself and others, and quite a few people that know me would know this, but I say, I'm not sure how, but I will, or I'll figure it out. So now we'll get to the main topic of this speech. Plans change, but goals don't. So everyone has goals in their life, whether that's your career, your hobby, something mentally, something physically. There's all different kinds of goals. There's short-term goals, which last about 5 years. There's long-term goals that are about 10 to 20, 30 years, however long you want them to be. I've always had these late-night conversations with my dad when I was growing up, about where I wanted to be and why, which I think is actually a really important conversation to have with someone that you have a close relationship with, because that is helping them think about their future and how are they going to get there. And of course, what my dad has always told me was, your plans will change, but your goals don't. So I want you to think about your goals in life within the next 5, 10, 20 years. And as you think about your goals, focus on the step in front of you rather than the staircase to get to your goal. So I'll tell you some of my goals. My first goal that's going to be on this slide right here is to graduate to become an engineer. Already done. I graduated in 2021 at NIU with my Bachelor's of Science in Manufacturing Engineering. So how did I get to that goal? Why did I come up with that kind of goal? Kind of unusual to see a tiny little girl like me wanting to be an engineer. So I had a job shadow back in 8th grade at UTC Sunstrand, which is now known as Collin Aerospace. And I have realized I absolutely loved the place, loved the person I had job shadowed. And I realized I wanted to become an engineer and to be one step higher than my brother. So in freshman year of high school, I decided I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. I realized that's not necessarily what I want, so I officially decided what I wanted to be in junior year of high school, that I wanted to be an engineer in aerospace, so I decided to become a mechanical engineer. So I did everything I could. I took all classes. I was in the robotics team in high school. I did whatever I could that would help me succeed that goal. So I went to college. I went to Rock Valley College and NIU. I did their partnership program. And plans changed because COVID hit. And everyone was affected. And you can know how hard that can be, hard of hearing, and going online all of a sudden. Not very easy, especially when your teachers have very heavy accents. Nevertheless, I still pushed through and I still graduated with my degree. My next goal that I had just completed last year is to work at Collin Aerospace. I decided in 8th grade as well. Not only did I want to be an engineer, I also wanted to work there. So now I have been officially hired full-time last year at Collin Aerospace. So I guess still have new goals that I'm working on or have goals that I want to accomplish at some point in my life. One of those goals is rapid career development, and that's still in progress. Now, this may be bold to say, but I will be the director of a Collin Aerospace site one day. And I only say that because my bosses are here and I want to make sure they heard that. But also, if you think about it, if your goals don't scare you, then they're not big enough. And I'll put that quote up here too. As a goal, that's something I've always said to my friends, especially when they're like, oh yeah, you're not gonna get there. Well, if your goal doesn't scare you, then you're not doing something right. My next goal that I want to get is to receive a double major master's degree in MBA and MME. Now, I haven't started that goal just because I need to study for my GRE, apply to Purdue University, and hopefully graduate within 2 to 3, maybe 4 years. And my other goal that I really need to convince my husband on is to have a family eventually. And I would like to have 2 of my own, 1 adopted, and if I don't have kids for whatever reason, I'll still adopt 3. But I have to convince my husband to have more than 1 child. And then my most recent goal that I've added to my list was live life to the fullest. And the reason why I said that is because it's a goal that everyone should have, right? We all should have it. It's a bucket list thing. You live life to the fullest. Well, recently, I started showing symptoms of a disease called Usher syndrome. And for those of you that don't know what Usher syndrome is that you will progressively lose your sight and hearing over time until you are completely blind and deaf. So I was recently diagnosed a couple months back with Usher syndrome type 2. I'm not going to let this hold me back. All right, this is just another thing I have to live with as a part of my goal, and all I'm going to do is push through and accomplish goals. Fortunately, type 2 is where you already have hearing loss, and your vision will progressively get worse in a tunnel vision form. And it happens over time. It could happen over 40 years, and there's no cure for it. Oh well, I'm still pushing through. So make a bucket list, because it is never too late to start, especially if you're 40, 60 years old. There's still a bucket list out there. I don't know if some of you guys probably watched the movie Bucket List. There's a bucket list movie. It's pretty good. So there's something I usually say to some people in life, and I say it to my husband a lot, and it goes something like, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need you. As I proceed to open a jar of pickles by myself. But some days I am wrong. And you see, society we live in today is not meant for us to live alone. And it's hard to believe that sometimes because some of us are introverts. So when I was in middle school, high school, I wouldn't ever ask for help from people. I still don't majority of the time. And I also would never take up the opportunity on the disability program in college for better assistance through classes because I felt like I would be cheating my way through it and cheating my way to my goal. And I regretted it all. But I was fortunate that I still had mentors along the way that would push me regardless. Every day, my family, my friends, my husband, they always push me to do better, especially when I lean on them. And I have quite a bit of family members here today, but I'm thankful for them. My husband, I say that earlier because at one point when we were dating, while we were working at Home Depot and in college, he had surprised me one day while we were studying over FaceTime. He told me to look up to him because he had something to tell me. And when I looked up to him, he signed to me and saying, hello, my name is Ben. How are you? It was a wonderful surprise. It turns out him and his family were taking basic sign language class in a way to help and support me if I needed that communication in emergency situations. Very sweet. Now there's one person that I would like to point out particular, and she is here too. There's a couple of people I want to point out. And this person has been with me since I transferred to McNair Winnebago School. And she has been with me in high school and even now. She actually came to my wedding too. And her name is Jackie. She was the hearing itinerant for me, and she helped advocate for me and taught me ways on how to advocate for myself. So there was a time when I transferred to this school, I had very low self-esteem and low confidence because I was the only student that I knew of at the time that had disability. And I struggled in school on having conversation with people because I couldn't hear very well. I mean, yes, I have hearing aids, but they don't always pick out in every word that people say in conversation. These hearing aids, they do now. So watch what you say. So I always stayed to myself in school, and I was constantly bullied or called the deaf girl. Well, Jackie had came up with something very outstanding called Hearing Week. I can't remember if it was week or day, but I'm going to say week at my school to allow people to be aware of certain situations. And it was a way that I could teach kids the same age as me and teachers on how to protect their hearing in the different parts of their ears. One of the activities we did was in a gym class, and it was to give all the students a pair of earplugs. And as you know, when you put earplugs in, you can't hear very well. Well, they wore it during the entire class hour while they were playing a game, and at the end, they were to tell us their thoughts about not being able to hear well. Many say it was frustrating, they didn't like it, they hated it, they didn't want to do it again. But one said that I've been taking my hearing for granted. And this has stuck with me since that day. So if you ever think about it, when you put even now you can close your ears with your palms and press really hard. That's how I hear without my hearing aids. You can't hear much. And it's frustrating. It's like an unbalanced world. So thank you, Jackie. She's back there. I don't know if you want to wave your hand. But now I have one other person that I would like to point out too, and she had actually pushed me to be better and continue without even having to say anything to me. For some of you, probably don't think that I would be now, but I used to be a tomboy growing up. I never wore dresses. I used to go off-roading in rock crawlers with my dad that he had worked on or built, throw mud balls at people on the trails, help my dad work in the shop by getting my hands dirty while handing him tools or just playing in the dirt. Well, one day I made a bet with a friend, and sadly for me, I lost that bet, which means that I had to enter the pageant in Winnebago. So, now keep this in mind, I did not know how to walk in heels or even wear makeup. So the first pageant that I entered, I will say it right now, before I get too far, I was in the wrong mindset for competing in the first pageant. And I thought if I looked pretty and walked on the stage, I would just win. Yeah, I was horribly wrong, and I lost, and it really humbled me. Although, I did win one award, and that award was the Director's Choice Award. Kim saw potential in me, and she is here too, which led me into competing again. And I will show you a couple of pictures here. I competed 3 times. I will only say 2 times, actually. So the second pageant, I changed my mindset about the pageant this time. I realized that if I don't improve myself, then I wasn't going to get anywhere. I thought about how everything in the pageant was about self-improvement, learning how to speak properly in front of people, such as today, showing confidence in yourself, and I also finally learned how to walk in heels properly because I couldn't do that earlier. I can even run in them. It's pretty exciting. And I told myself I better not fall today. But I also told myself that all I wanted to do for my second year of pageant was just to improve myself. I didn't care about winning. So I got rewarded just for that. I won first runner-up and Director's Choice Award again. Now there is still room for improvement, so I entered again for the 3rd year. I prepared for this year, set the plan of what I wanted to accomplish leading up to winning the competition, and once again, like I said earlier, COVID hits. So the fair got canceled, which means the pageant got canceled, and keep in mind this was my last year to compete until I aged out. Oh well, plans change but goals don't, right? I could still improve myself, and that was all I was going to do, even outside of the pageant. Until I was presented by the fair board and the director of the pageant to be their first and only Winnebago County Fair ambassador 2020. And that was an honor because all I had to do was represent for the county as a whole and what I could do as a role model for others. So there was a quote that I found, I don't know who had said it, but if you continuously compete with others, you become bitter. But if you continuously compete with yourself, you become better. So with that, compete with yourself, not with others. So now, let's get back into that goal that I just accomplished about dream job and saying how I want to be a director of a site one day. We're not going to touch that anymore since I already made that mark. At first, when I decided that I wanted to work at Collin Aerospace, I just thought it would be cool. The place looked so cool, all the different things, they just looked so cool. I just kept saying that, like I told my mom over and over again until she got tired of hearing it. It was really cool. There's not many kids that you would hear say, I want to work at this place when I grow up, especially in 8th grade. Well, I was that weird kid. When I was told I was hired in the middle of a COVID for a co-op position at Collin Aerospace, I was ecstatic. I could not believe it. I called my husband, who was my boyfriend, and I said, I got the job. I got the job. And he's like, no way. And he started screaming, and we celebrated and everything. So that was one step closer to the goal I wanted to accomplish. After I completed my college degree, I have mentioned to my boss that time that I needed to move on into a full-time position. So I began to apply around the different areas in Collin Aerospace, not just Rockford, but other areas as well. And little did I know that my department wanted to keep me and created the position for me to be hired onto the team full-time last year. So. And I say this is a dream job in a way that not only because I wanted to work there, but because of the people I work with. They've always advocated and pushed me to do better, and I could not ask for anything more than that. I mean, I got quite a big group here today supporting me, and I've been very fortunate and happy with that, and they have been sharing everything that I do with the team as well. And last but not least, like I said, I coach a robotics team now. I just took on that team, and I am a head coach as of this year. It's my first year being the head coach. I've been the assistant coach 2 years prior, and our team name is Montessori Mania, Maria Montessori, and that team lives up to their second part of the team's name, Maniacs. And they're little kids. They're 4th grade up until 8th grade. And I've always enjoyed working with the kids and helping them to their next step and what they want to accomplish. But many people ask me, why do you do it? Especially my husband. And it gives me joy and happiness to be able to take something I love and then share it with others, and for them to be able to learn something that they're interested in as well. And it's something I mentioned in the video as well. My inspiration was that I was given the opportunity to explore at a very young age, to experience something that I was very interested in. Now, I want to give back because I had someone that had the ability to give me the opportunity to explore. When the kids enjoy the experience and learning something new, then I know I'm accomplishing something and I'm doing something correctly. So, I hope today you have learned how I was able to build myself and how I want to help others build as well. Because plans can change, but your goals don't.
Thank you, Joey, for sharing and opening up and just being here today and showing your tenacity, which we all hope to tap into as well. Congratulations. And start working on that family, young man. What are you waiting for? Well, thank you, everyone, for being here and joining us today. Thank you for all of your support of RAMP and your support of our community where we all live, work, and play. Now, don't forget to make a donation on your phone. It's an envelope on the table as well, right through RAMP's website as well. If you want an auction item, don't forget to close that out and take your item home. There are RAMP individuals, staff members here to help you with those auction areas. And the flowers are on the tables. Those could be yours for $10. Make your donation, take them home, and by all means, take a donut. Please take a donut. I will take them all, what's left. So please take them, I'm begging you. So thank you so much for being here again today. Have a great afternoon, and thank you for all of your support of RAMP. Thank you.